Hey fam, back again. Hope that you have so far enjoyed the series. So far we have talked about the infatuation stage, affirming, and how to make connection in communication. And I want to kind of pick up there, and then we're going to go into things that cause us to actually disconnect. When talking about affirming, we talked about having support from our partner, or great conversations using good nonverbals and verbals. And I don't think I talked enough about nonverbal skills. We talked about eye contact, and if you're an affectionate person, using the beautiful art form of touch. But also a great nonverbal are your facial expressions. That tells a multitude of things. And sometimes what it tells isn't the truth. Culturally, we have different types of facial expressions that mean different things. And then also as far as gender, like women typically hate to be with a man that shrugs his shoulders and says, I don't know. So I think when you talk about your nonverbals and your facial expressions, what are you trying to communicate? And how do you see yourself? I shared and explained a little bit about the communication styles: assertive, passive, and aggressive. When you communicate, how do you feel inside your body? So one of the things I love to do is to bring together physical touch, verbal confirmation or verbal conversation, and then also how you use your body to communicate. Are you very theatrical? I use my hands a lot, and my editor hates that I'm always talking with my hands. That's just how I am. I am very articulate. That was beaten to me by my parents, God bless. So is it from a place of confidence? Is it a place from insecurity? Is it a place from just trying to get to the point and get it on with? Like, some people don't like long drawn out discussions. Some people love to talk. Thinking about the things that help you communicate and land, like being yourself. Like, how does that come to be? How do I really emote myself? That goes into affirming yourself, being confident, and also commonality. Like, shared interests always help relationships. When the two of you have something in common, you vibe better. So I tell a lot of singles, use your hobbies more so than dating apps. I'm not saying dating apps are not good. They have their place and their significance. But I think there needs to be a myriad of things that we utilize to add to our life. A relationship is supposed to add to your life. Not to get too off topic here, but the more comfortable and the more interested you are in certain things, so will your mate be. So when we're discussing affirming and having a connection, it's important to have good, effective communication, which includes affirming and support and shared interests, good nonverbals, and then also shared interest. Shared interest, I cannot say that enough. Meet people and they usually say, oh, we met because we were at this place that we both enjoyed this, or we met through a familiar friend because we all were sorority, fraternity, or we met in college. There's going to be something that is going to be the platform, the foundation of how you meet, and then you build upon that. Better communication comes from better connection. So the more you think about how we connect, how I connect with myself, the better you will be in a relationship. Now, what typically causes the infatuation stage to spiral out and to start having disconnect or ineffective communication? And from my understanding and my personal and professional experiences, it's usually pain. Most of the things that we're afraid of come from pain, from something we've experienced that makes us either feel inadequate, insecure, angry. When you start thinking about, and I think it's important to think and know, what are my tender spots? What are the things in my life that have caused me pain, that make me not as approachable, that make me indifferent to certain opinions, certain belief systems? What are pains that I've experienced that have grown me to not believe certain things or to believe certain things? Those areas are very important when we start talking about how we engage with people that we are finding ourselves fond of or eventually in love with. If you're a Democrat and you meet a Republican, and because of your lifestyle and your experiences maybe at home economically, you're going to have some differences of opinions and some differences of connection, because your economic background and the person you're speaking to or trying to learn to get to know better background is different. That whole adage of opposite attracts to an extent. Like, opposite energy is great for sex. Sexual energy is great a lot of times when there's a lot of opposition or differences. But when we start talking about matters of the heart and longevity and likability, usually the more similar we are, or the more similar minded we are. Now we're talking about values. Those things bring us together and help communication be more effective and more congruent. Think about your girlfriends. You may have friends that are very different in personality, but I can almost guarantee you that the foundations of those friendships have commonality. That there's something that brings you to that person that makes the two of you join. That's called similarity. That's called congruence. How congruent are you with your mate? Do we have shared pain? Maybe you met someone who's also lost their mother and you bonded through that. Maybe you met someone who also has children and are recently divorced. You bonded through that. Maybe you met someone who struggled in medical school and you struggled in medical school, so you bonded through that. Those are painful situations that cause congruence. If you went through a pain that someone can't relate to, again, let's go back to grief. You've lost a parent and you've met someone who has both of their parents and they don't understand that it's hard for you during holidays and it's hard for you for Mother's Day and Father's Day and so on. Now we start to have areas where we could have disconnection. I want you to also start to filter in and think about, what are the pains from my past that could possibly or potentially destroy my future with my mate? I hope this is making sense. I hope I'm ringing this in appropriately, but basically what I'm trying to share with you is affirming and similarity cause better connection. Pain can cause connection, but pain is usually the demise. So wherever there's pain, there's a possibility or a probability of conflict. And we will eventually get to conflict resolution. But I want you to start to think about, when I am at odds in conversations with people, what's being brought up in me? What are my past traumas, my past experiences that are causing me to have conflict or problems in communicating effectively with this person? I hope you all are getting some valuable tools from this. I'm enjoying this. We have a long way to go. We got a lot more to dive into. Please, if you're enjoying the content, subscribe, hit the bell, and I'll see you next time. Love you.